on the table today, 10R80. Another 10R. Another one. This one is in a 2018 F150 2.7 liter Ecoboost. This one has 173,000 miles on it. Customer stated it started slipping while they were towing a trailer. He said it feels kind of intermittent, or under a load it's slipping. It has a vibration at lower speed. So the technician noted that it had some slipping and they felt like converter shutter maybe. So expecting usual 10-speed stuff going on inside here. CDF drum and all that good stuff. That fluid looks disgusting. Do not want 11. I want 10. Let's do a 19 now. Someone would be mixing up my sockets, huh? I know I'm missing my 19. Oh boy, someone's in trouble now. Always keep a spare on me. Checking the fluid. Whoa. All right. All right, let's get this pan off. Sometimes these nuts will stick to the studs here and it'll pull that aluminum heat shield right off. Oh, see? Like that, watch. Nothing you can do with that. It's just the stud, the nut stuck there. You can't get to the... And you could bend that back, I guess, but I mean, at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? If you get one or two it messes up, then you can just, it'll go back on there. They kind of hold their shape really well. So you just got one that busted out. Put two on there, it'll stay put. No issues. Haven't priced these things out yet. I wonder what they cost. Alright, let me get this backed up a little bit because it's full of fluid. Ooh, go. Filter. This is an expensive filter from Ford. I think it's almost $100 by cost. It's like, why does the filter cost that much? Another reason why doing full services are expensive. I mean, the filter's almost $100 alone. We're over $100 alone. All right, remember we got the dummy arrows here. Got that one out. And I get the 30 mil. Where's my 30 mil? Go. Get that out of there. There we go. About body time. That's the pump. Got our off-axis pump here. Good stuff. Speed sensor. Speed sensor. Speed sensor. Speed sensor. This one's got the non-upgraded gear train support. Oh, let's get this thing drained. A lot of fluid in there. A lot of nasty fluid. I can guess that's 173,000 miles have never been changed. Alright. Get this stator support out of here. Remember, it's not a pump. It's just a stator support pump, not a pump. See if we can get a really good CDF drum this time. I think the last couple we've had were not super moved. May move, but I mean, not like, wow, look at that. It's more like, But again, you know, any little bit of movement is still going to make a difference. But I like seeing the ones that are like, whoa, that thing moved a lot. Makes you feel good. And we'll slide that out. Alright, these are the clutches here. Hell, these are in better shape than the 90,000 mile transmission we just took apart last week. Oh. I don't know if you can see that. They're coming apart right there. Little triangles coming off. No bueno. Get in your home. It's the reluctor. Sometimes it get bad enough that this will scrape against here if this thing wears enough. A little bit of wear. This isn't too terrible for having the miles on it. And nope, this one's still intact too. Like a lot of times this bottom sealing ring gets pushed off. when the sleeve moves a lot. Looks like our F clutch has got a little hot here. You can see a little bit of discoloration. Yep, that one moved, but again, not as much as some. This hole should be covered up a bit more, so the sleeve has come down. Usually you can barely see the top of that hole when it's correct. So the sleeve has moved, but you know, not enough to be like, whoa, but enough to cause problems. Enough for the client to have slipping issues. Yep. Just about typical there. Let's see what this FU clutch looks like. Remember, 3 snap rings. And the final boss. And so yeah, the F clutch has got a little bit hot. Not terrible. You can see the little discoloration from this one to this one. And steel has a little bit of heat in them, but nothing crazy. And everybody's still intact there. Alright. Pull that out. Definitely some contact there. Not terrible. Take that apart. And this one. Oh wow. Look at that. You can see that. That's enough to get my scribe buried in. So that would lock a clutch down and cause slipping for sure. That's pretty bad. I wonder if I take to the other side. So a lot of times what I've seen in the worst case scenario, this will actually, they'll be cut in half. And how bad the clutches eat in here, they'll actually cut the entire drum cylinder in half. But you can see that's a deep one right there. And that's pretty bad. So that'll allow the F clutches to get stuck in there, and either they'll stick on or stick off, and it'll cause slipping issues because the F clutch is not applying or releasing properly. So the CDF drum is a main issue in these, but also the wear on the cylinder, sport cylinder, is another major issue that doesn't get talked about as much, and it causes a host of problems also. It's not worn too bad up here, but here that's just abhorrent. Abhorrent. I need a smaller scribe for this. There you are. Come here. Pull you out of there. I need you, and you are garbage. That's a big old hunk of scrap aluminum. See, probably see a little better there. And we'll get a planetary out. Good. All right. So get the valve body apart. I can take it apart now. I got some time. There's nothing here really that I can show you. I can tell you a couple things about the pieces that get replaced, so we can do that, I guess. Sonex makes, I I think Ratiotech and Sonex are the two companies that make a kit for these so far. I use the Sonex kit. So I think there's a lockup and a line pressure solenoid here. Lockup, line pressure, I think. Covers here. These are all your solenoids here. Solenoid connectors. Take this wire, and this is the temp sensor here. They've all got pretty much the same connector, but so in theory you could mix these up, but the way the harness is, it's kind of over time molds itself, so it's hard to. You really have to try. You really have to try to mix these up. Like they almost won't even reach the other solenoid. Oh, let's see what else I got here. Everybody off. Alright. So one half of this is bolted together. The other half is not. So there's a screw there. Just going to gently just pull it up. I don't want to mess up the plate or the solenoids or anything. And only certain models have check balls in them, and those check balls are only to seal off ports that are there for testing from the factory. So in the Sonex kit, we're going to go in. This is the pressure regulator valve. We're going to replace this valve. There's a spring that goes into the TCC valve here, select valve. They got some these are the latch valves on this side, and they make some new ends for those. And then let's see, there's your thermal valve there. That drain. And then on this side, there's a line pressure valve there, and there's this torque converter clutch valve here. Little accumulator valve, relief valve. Separator plate. I have seen these little screens collapse and they'll fall out of place and get jammed in a valve. So you gotta make sure you check those screens. Make sure they're not coming out of place. And see, this one's got a place for check balls, but there's no check balls in it. And you get little poppet valves here. There's three of them, and one goes in up way, the other two go down. Don't mix those up. So you get a line pressure. These will wear, but not as bad as the other ones. The 8F35s have a similar setup with these little accumulator valves here. This one's for the torque converter clutch, and the 8F35s will wear tremendously. This one's got a little bit of play. You can see it moves back and forth just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it's going to get replaced with the Sonex piece. And then they have a TCC priority valve that gets replaced. And these are all the little shuttle valves for the solenoids. They don't really wear terribly bad. Got it out. There's the little line pressure valve, accumulator valve there. New O-ring sleeve is going to go in there. So yeah, that's the 10R80 valve body. It's not super complex like some are. This is where the check balls would go if it was a, I believe the ones with the manual valve with the electric stop on it. The ones that have the actual, I think I've seen them in the F150s with the electric, the late model ones like 21s, 22s that have the shifter. They'll put a little solenoid here, and then the Expeditions with the turn knob have it here also. And they got a little manual valve in here that just locks into place if you're at a park. They'll have the check balls in here. They block off these little pressure ports. But other than that, the rest of them don't have any check balls in them. So yeah. All right, so we'll guess we'll let's get these clutches out too. The ones behind the support. Have seen these have a little bit of heat to them. Let's see what we got going on. So these have, this is the snap ring that's got a little groove to it that we have to kind of get out of its little spot there. And this L-shaped snap ring. Just got a little lip here that seats inside this to keep it from popping out whenever the spring tension's on it. Let's lift the entire one-way sprag out. Nothing crazy there. Seen much worse. There's our one-way roller. It's doing its job. Okay, well, let's get it torn down the rest of the way and get the new parts for it and get this thing back together. I think I'll update this video. I got the new parts. I'll go ahead and clean up a little bit and update it with the new parts versus the old parts. And I might have some good examples in my stash. I'll pop them out. We can take a look at the old versus new, and I'll kind of explain a little better what we're looking at. Thank you. So, as I said, I'm going to get the parts out here. These are the two main culprits in the 10R80. The support cylinder and the CDF drum. So, the support cylinder, the new setup is anodized. That's why it's got a different color. It's actually aluminum, which are both aluminum, but this one is actually anodized, which is supposed to make it a little bit more resistant to wear. Will it? Don't know. We're just not putting them in. I've been installing these for, I want to say, a little over a year, maybe 2 years since they came out. And I have not had any come back to look at the wear on them. So it's just going to be a waiting game to see how long they last. Same exact setup, just, you know, this one's got the grooves eating into it, and then so they anodize these to try and help protect against this from happening and from wearing up here on the seat here where one of the Planetaries ride. So is it a fix or not? We don't know yet. They tried something new. Let's hope for the best. And then the CDF drum. See, here is the new one, and the one I pulled out. Remember, I said it moved a little bit. The other one had moved a little bit. This is the brand new one. Never been inside of a transmission, and there's the hole right there, and the other one had moved far enough I could put the scribe straight into it, so it had moved. And so the new one has a step built in right here, so the sleeve cannot walk down. That's the direction it walks. It walks down towards this bushing here. Have not seen them walk up towards this bushing yet, so that's why they didn't do anything different here. Here's one I've gotten from my stash. I keep these on hand because at one time Ford back ordered these quite a bit, and there is a company that makes a kit to lock this sleeve in place. I haven't used it yet because I'd rather buy a new one with the updated design, but I kind of keep these in reserve just in case one day Ford decides to back order these things and I can't get them. I still want to be able to fix y'all's vehicles, and that kit's the next best thing to that, so I got a few of these. But this one's a really good example of a move sleeve. Remember I showed you here, that's the hole there you're looking at, the relief hole for the clutch. You look on this one, it has moved considerably, almost down to the next apply hole down there. Yeah, significant. So once again, thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing cleaned up and then get these new parts put in, and everything else I need to get the rest of the kit for the valve body, the clutches and the seals, all that stuff, and get them back on the road. Appreciate y'all watching. Thank you.